I have been riding since I was 11. I was born in Chicago. I was the weird kid that loved horses and cantered around the playground every moment I got. I started getting riding lessons finally when I was 11. What is it about them? I couldn't tell you that, but I just don't know what life would be like without horses. I hopped off of my horse in June of 2016 after a very lovely ride, and I felt something. There was no popping. I just hit the ground and thought, well, that's funny. What is that? And I had pain in my hip that got my attention for several hours. Over the next several months, it just got worse to the point where in January of 2017, when I would ride, I would barely be able to walk that day. Probably 12 months after the initial pain, I couldn't ride anymore, and getting on and off was actually scary. It was a big chunk of my life that would have been gone. We tried an injection, and that was successful for a short amount of time. I've been recommended to have a replacement, but I was very interested in having the anterior replacement, which is a newer way of doing it. They go in from the front, disturb less tissue, much less restrictions. So I scheduled with an orthopedic surgeon in Madison and waited 6 weeks for the appointment. Got a call a week before it was due, and they said, we're sorry, we're not part of your insurance plan. And literally the same day, I went on Facebook, and here was a post announcing Dr. Flannery was coming to OSMS, and he was going to be doing anterior hip replacements. I met him, and we talked about it and got the surgery scheduled, and I've not looked back. I had full confidence immediately from the get-go. Surgery was done right upstairs in the OSMS building at the Bell Surgical Center. It was 23 hours I was there. It was great. I was very, very mobile immediately after. I was actually walking without a walker the night of the surgery. When I first got up, I had a nurse on each side, and they were very carefully walking me down the hall with the walker. And then I thought, well, do I have to use this? And she said, just do what you can. So I started to just walk with the walker. And then I took the walker to the side, and I was just walking down the hall, and I said, can I try running? She said, no, don't try running, don't run. I was then back to work in 3 weeks. I was told I could ride in 6 weeks. I waited till 8 weeks. It was really hard because it had hurt so bad prior that I literally stood next to my horse and thought, can I throw my leg over or can I not? And finally just put the foot in. I had some encouragement from my trainer. He kept saying, come on, you can do this. And put my leg over, and for the first time in months, had no pain. I just feel like I have my hip back. I'm back living the life I love thanks to Dr. Flannery and OSMS.